I don't really know where to start. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot to say, I just don't know how to say it. I'll give it my best shot, I guess. It was 2 years ago. I sat right here and I read something that forever changed the rest of my life: the Gender Dysphoria Bible. There's a link in the description. Last year, I talked about that moment as well as what led me to it, so I won't get into it too much, but let me tell you the course of my life to kind of get you up to speed. I went baby, envy, to finboy, to everything's fine, there's nothing to see here. I said everything's fine, there's nothing to see here. To envy, to trans girl. Now that we're caught up, I don't really know what to say. You know, last year I walked around outside, so maybe I can try that again. I should probably get dressed first. What? Oh, right. I don't have a license. I guess we'll just do the office thing? How am I supposed to reinforce the journey metaphor if I'm just standing in the same place as always? Whatever. We're going to be a bit more robust in this video than we normally are. We're going to roll the 2-year trans experience, the 24-month HRT, and the 2-year trans timeline videos all in one because I have bipolar disorder and sometimes I can't get things done. Appreciate your patience. I also have a stutter and I don't know why I write scripts the way I do. Last year, I talked about how strange and different transitioning during COVID has been, and that's still the case. I'll get to it a bit more. We'll get to it more in a bit. There have also been some things that are pretty different compared to my first year, not counting me being out of practice doing this. Last time I talked about the discovery and the exploration of what it means to be trans and how that's affected me. The theme this year has mostly been just kind of how to put that into practice. At some point I transitioned, pun intended, from figuring out who I am to how to be that person. I can pretty confidently say I'm happy with my changes. Plus, with the utmost humility, I can confidently say I look hot as fuck now. You'll see more in a bit. And to say that about myself is mind-blowing. I never would have said that when I was a boy. Even when I was legitimately pretty hot in retrospect. It's only through the eyes of a person not trapped in something like that that I can see a little bit of what other people saw in me. To be clear, I in no way considered myself hot 2 years ago. I still don't. I was frumpy and depressed and scruffy and even more of a mess than I usually am. At least now I'm a hot mess. If the theme of last year was novelty and discovery, the theme of this year has been confidence and comfort. I've fully embraced who I am, and the remnants of that old scrub have been washed away for a long time now. Which is good. He was an idiot. I mean, I'm still an idiot, but at least now I have tits. Mostly. We'll get to HRT and body changes in a minute. Speaking of tits, when I first started, I was so concerned about passing, which passing is the idea of kind of appearing feminine enough to not noticeably, appearing feminine enough or not noticeably trans enough that the average person will think that you're cis. This is a big deal for a lot of people when they first start, but it's really not a thing. Or at least, it's not much of a thing for me. I mean, I understand that there are places in the world where to pass is to survive, but that's a whole other topic and honestly beyond my ability to discuss. Big love if you're in that kind of situation. Mommy Cammy loves you. Being trans femme in the time of coronavirus is actually pretty good from a certain perspective. I get to wear a mask, so I don't need to be as concerned about getting rid of my beard shadow every time I leave the house. Honestly, if I have a mask on, almost no one clocks me. I'm just some Amazon out doing her shopping. I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day, and it's kind of a big deal for me. Facial hair and a strong jaw are two of my biggest concerns. Though the facial hair is a lot more of a thing. I can cover up the jaw with makeup. I'll eventually be getting laser hair whenever I can figure out the insurance tangle, and that'll make things much better. Now that I'm past those big early discoveries and changes, the physical changes, socializing female, all that, I'm trying to figure out my place on the gender spectrum and my whole style. So, my general identity. On the first of those topics, sometimes I really don't feel like a girl, but also who the hell am I to even know what that means? Maybe when I'm just relaxing and not thinking about it, not feeling very feminine is normal. It might just be that I've grown so comfortable with the whole thing, it's just kind of normalized. I have absolutely no way of knowing. I also don't know what to do with my hands. Some people, this is why I'm normally sitting down.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Some people can look at the broad spectrum of gender. Some people can look at the broad spectrum of gender and know exactly where they are on that whole male, female, mask, femme, whatever other thing is on the graph. For me, I'm kind of a confused mess, which tracks. I say female because it's easier and generally probably mostly correct. Where I really sit those somewhere near gender fluid, NB, demi-girl, female, butch-ish area? Told you I'm a confused mess. Ultimately though, it doesn't matter. I exist and I'm trans and you can call me a girl and I'm happy about it. Noodling down into the minutiae just isn't important. Before I get to the style bit, I've also been trying to figure out my sexual identity. Like before, I say I'm a lesbian because it's easier and generally correct, but really I'm attracted across the spectrum. I like women, both butch and femme. I like demi-girls, I like NBs, I even like femboys, and none of that has anything to do with their gender assigned at birth. To be clear, I've dated AMAB NBs, and if I were dating again, which I absolutely am not, I'd do it again if I met someone I liked. I'd say I don't want to noodle that topic down to the minutiae either, but... So I'm female with an asterisk, and lesbian with an asterisk. That's me. Nice and simple and easy to understand. I'm such a fucking mess. I don't know how my girlfriend deals with me. So style, which honestly has been a pretty big part of figuring out who I am. I mentioned in a previous video that I was really starting to figure out my style. I don't recall which one it was, and I'm too lazy to look it up right now, but I'll link to it later. But that's not entirely accurate anymore. I found myself gravitating towards basic white girl. But once I started dressing that way, it just didn't feel right. And when I looked back to my style icons, these babes, I was never really after the basic white girl aesthetic. I think I initially gravitated to that look because I was drawn to affectations of femininity. I mean, you can tell at a glance that it's a millennial female look. It's unmistakable. So, I'm still working on it, but as you can see, I'm getting there. Let's talk HRT, and now we'll do that thirst-baiting side-by-side timeline, which is what you're all here for. I can see the analytics. I know what part of the videos you're watching on repeat. I'm currently taking 100 milligrams of spironolactone twice a day, 600 milligrams of estradiol sublingual once a day, and 200 milligrams of progesterone once a day. When we do HRT updates here on the channel, we talk physical changes, emotional changes, and societal changes, plus any firsts that I had. So let's dive into physical and take a look at that HRT timeline chart. The categories are fat redistribution, reduced muscle, softer skin, lower libido, reduced erections, breast growth, testicle shrinking, and body hair thinning. Blue is onset time, green is changes occurring, and purple is completion time. Currently, we are right here. We're out of green for everything now except body hair, which I'll get to, and we're completely out of reduced muscle and lower libido. We've been out of reduced erections for a while now. I clearly have small breasts coded into my DNA the same way I have long legs coded in there. My tits haven't grown since like month 6. I'm still rocking a super cute 38AA, not that you can see them in this top. I kind of love them. I've always enjoyed small tits, and now I have a pair of my own. For all the jokes I might make at their expense, they're wonderful and I don't want them to change. Physical changes is more than tits though, at least that's what I hear. My changes continue to be pretty subtle. You'll see in a minute that changes are absolutely happening, but they're not like the things that happened in those first 6 months. Fat redistribution is still happening. My butt is fantastic. I have soft girl thighs, and my hips have made me unable to wear men's pants, which is the opposite of the way it was before. Way back, I tried wearing women's pants for a while because I liked the way they made me look, which in retrospect really should have been a sign, but they were so uncomfortable, I just couldn't keep it up. Reduced muscle is absolutely a thing, but I've just gotten used to it at this point, so it's not really noticeable anymore. I have a hard time opening jars and lifting things and, muscle stuff. Lower libido's never really been a thing for me, not really anyway. I feel attraction and arousal different now, but it's certainly hasn't gone away. Of course, I've always been super gay for my girlfriend, so. Breast growth, which I think is probably the same thing as fat redistribution, but whatever. They haven't grown, but they've gotten a little rounder and more full, as much as they can at less than an A cup anyway. There's nothing worth mentioning in testicle shrinking, so let's talk body hair. Back before I came out, I used to say that if I could remove every scrap of hair from the cheekbones down, I'd die happy. I really should have known. Like, seriously, how did I not know? Anyway, your girl is hairy as fuck. Not as much as I was, though, so progress? My body hair overall has gotten thinner, so it's less like a carpet. To be fair to myself, it wasn't that bad, but it's just always made me feel so bad about myself, and that's getting better, which is the important part. Any hair I had on my shoulders or back is completely gone. My chest hair is thinning and turning into vellus hair, which is that soft peach fuzz that we get. Hair on my legs has thinned, so it's starting to look more and more like a cis girl hair pattern, which is less uniform and more kind of patchy. With luck, it'll go away entirely, which isn't uncommon with HRT. I want to talk to my endo about it and see what we can do for my body hair outside of things like laser. I've lost weight since I started, which you'll see when we do the side-by-side. It's not uncommon for feminizing HRT to cause weight loss. My utterly uneducated assumption is that the loss of muscle density is what does it, but that's just a guess. Anyway, in the last 2 years, I've dropped about 25 pounds. Not all of that is HRT though. I was about 215 when I started, and I'm about 190 now. I lost about probably 10 pounds in the first 6 months or so, and then plateaued. The other 15 pounds happened when I stopped drinking soda. I didn't start working out or being less sedentary. I literally just stopped drinking soda and started drinking water, so. Health tip of the day, I guess. When it comes to emotional changes, not much is different. I grew incredibly stable so quick when I started HRT. I mean, my bipolar is still there, I don't mean to imply otherwise, but it's just managed with regular medication now, and I almost forget that I have it. Before all this, no matter what I took, it didn't ever really do the trick. I had this constant low-key suicidality, and my mood swings would get pretty severe sometimes. And that was with medication. Anyway, there's not much to add, so we'll just move on to societal changes. I'm past the point of firsts, so I don't have anything new, mostly. I transitioned socially really early in this whole process, so at this point the last real step was changing my name, and I did that last month. I'm now legally Carmilla. I mean, it's strange, but I haven't used my old name in so long it seems more like a formality than anything else. Still, it's nice not to see my old name pop up on things like bank statements and stuff like that. I'm making a whole video about the name change process that should be along in a couple of weeks. I have one more place to go finish getting everything changed, but I've been avoiding sitting in the DMV all day, so I haven't done it yet. When I do, you'll have that to look forward to. But I hear you clamoring, so I'll stop thirst baiting and do the side-by-side already. believe this is my body now. I get to live inside this for the rest of my life? Fuck yes. This whole journey has been discovery and accepting who I am. I don't think I'm going to stop doing that. We need to evolve and adapt if we're going to thrive in this world. Honestly, I'm really excited to see where I am this time next year. So, thanks for being here with me for it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go turn my hair pink.